So I can't see. I'm trying to see the outline, and I can't see you at the same. I can't see us. So do I hit?
You need to open up another window.
Oh, not tab.
You need to open up another window and then open that, and then you'll have two windows. You're trying to just make the screen smaller. So take your little mouse guy and put it like in the middle of the document.
But I can't make us smaller too, can I?
You can. You can.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me try that. Yeah, this is like a whole new world for me now.
I'm happy that I was able to help you be able to do the two things at one time. Welcome to My Best Ex, a podcast by two exes who are besties. Because who better to help you clean up your life problems than someone who dumped you in the past? I'm Gloria.
Exactly. And I'm Zina. And welcome back. Episode 2. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, so for those of us who got to hear our first episode, our pilot podcast, we talked a little bit about this thing called Enneagram. And Glo, you had never heard of it, right? Remember?
Well, but I did it again this weekend.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
I came up with 2.
Wait, please tell me that 6 was still one of them.
6 was in there, but it was 2, 3, and then 6, then 9. Not to be weird.
Well, wait, but what was the main one? There's always a main one.
The main one was 2.
2, that makes sense for you. Well, my mom's a 2, and she's a social worker, and she likes things. And so they're helpers. They like to help. And that's a beautiful thing about the 2. So yeah. I love that for you. So 6 wasn't even in there, the warrior. And I also just looked and just to see, because I said it was like written on the sides of pyramids or something ridiculous that I made up, and that's not real. So I just wanted to clarify that, the Enneagram. But what's interesting is that the Enneagram has roots in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism.
Oh, that's fun.
So I really, it's like bringing us all together. I love that. And the Russian philosopher, George Gurdjieff. Well, look it up. But this philosopher brought the Enneagram to the West in the early 1900s. And Gurdjieff taught the symbol through sacred dances and movements. I don't know. All of it just seems like this beautiful, somewhat random thing, but it's used as a personality test out there, even more so than astrology. So anyway, look up, I'll send you the link later. Okay. I will do, and you'll attach it.
I'll attach it. I'll put it.
Don't ask me to do that, or we're going to be here for years.
Forever. Okay. I'll put it in the description later.
Okay. But do y'all Enneagrams. It's fun. It's really fun.
Good times. All right.
Well, moving on to episode 2. So I will say that last night was the Oscars. I don't know how many of you were able to watch. But this year for me, I didn't see many of the movies. I saw some, but not all. Usually I've seen more of them than this year. So I was a little lost. But honestly, truth be told, I was just kind of there to see Cynthia and Ariana sing Defying Gravity. That's really why I tuned in.
Thank God it was at the beginning, because otherwise I would have had to have sat through all of that. And the only thing I really wanted was them.
That's all I wanted. Yeah. And we got more than we anticipated, because not only did Ariana sing Come Over the Rainbow, but then Cynthia came out and did Home from The Wiz. Excuse me, surprise, but it's wow.
Yeah. And then to have them finish with Wicked was
together.
Yeah.
So they did the white one, and then they did the black one, and then they did Defying Gravity, which was incredible. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So also what I love about them, I love Wicked anyway, because it seems covertly to me queer and kind of lesbian. I know that they're just friends, but there's something about their friendship and the come with me. And I was like, I've always felt that Wicked was a little bit, had lesbian undertones. But
in the song, in Defying Gravity,
yeah,
something has changed within me.
Thank you.
Something is not the same.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Just wanting to take off together and just explore the world together and leave all that other stuff behind. Gay.
Love it. I love that. And just to see them in real life, in the interviews, and just how much they genuinely seem to love one another, respect one another, and show up for one another. They have each other's back in every interview. It's beautiful to see.
I hate to say that thing about holding space because everybody makes such a joke about it now, but I really do believe in that. And I felt like even last night in that performance, when it was time for Cynthia to do her part of Defying Gravity,
Mm.
Ariana just like kissed her hand and then just kind of like backed slowly into the background to let her have her spotlight. And I was just like, oh,
The
like
hand kiss
that,
was everything.
it was
Like
everything.
her kissing her hand like a prince, and then backing away was just
Generous.
so generous and incredible.
Yeah. So they're so present with each other and it's a beautiful friendship. I could not stop watching any of their interviews. I was just like, I just love these two together. I
Yeah.
love them. It's a little over the top and slightly ridiculous, but I'm here for all of it.
It like reminds me of basically it's what we're going to talk about today, which is
Yes.
how do we show up for our friends? And as best exes, how have we shown up for each other and how we shown up for other relationships in our past?
Okay, so I'm gonna do a memory check with you to see if you are picking up what I'm putting down. Do you remember the great Boom Boom Bada caper? What?
A boom
Boom.
boom bada
Okay.
caper.
Boom
I don't
Boom
know, but it
Boom
sounds like a
Bada.
show you should pitch. The
Boom Boom
boom
Boom
boom bada
Bada.
caper.
When I do it like that, doesn't ring a bell.
Pitch about like boys to men getting together and they all have to come back to
No,
Philadelphia to solve a crime together, like the boom boom bada caper.
no. Okay, but you're very, very close. It is based on Boys to Men. See, I want you to picture this.
Mm-hmm.
New York, 2004. Whoopi Goldberg is doing the revival of her one woman show. Now, do you remember? Boom,
Yes.
boom, boom, bada. Okay.
Okay.
So we had this notion
Mm-hmm.
that if we got backstage to talk
Okay.
to Whoopi Goldberg, that we could get her to
Yes, we were
play to
pulling a
her.
boom boom bada.
We thought that we would roll up on Whoopi just like Boys to Men did on Michael Bivins, and then we
Yep.
would not harmonize, but we would give her your script or talk to her about your script.
That's right. I don't know if the majority of our audience knows that Boys to Men. That's how they got discovered. They were up on Michael Bivins and they were like, "Yo, we can sing, we can harmonize." They went backstage. They were like, "Just give us 10 seconds of your time. Let us show you something." And they just broke into their boom boom bada, boom boom
Exactly.
bada, ya 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 yada, all
Okay,
that
so
stuff.
inspired by them,
Yeah.
that's what we decided to do. So this was back in a time when we were both like incredibly broke and had
Oof,
no
yeah.
money,
Yeah.
but decided
No
that
money,
it
Sonny.
was, what did you say?
I just said no money, Sonny.
No money, Sunny. And we just decided that it was still worth it to try to get your script. And Her Hair Went With Her, which was a
Mm-hmm.
great theater piece that you'd written. And at the time, it hadn't been produced yet. And
Yeah.
so we thought Whoopi Goldberg would be the perfect producer for this. Let's take a chance, spend the money on the tickets, and
Mm-hmm.
roll up to this show. So at the time, we thought, you know what? It's going to be worth it. We're going to spend our little coins on these
Mm-hmm.
tickets to see Whoopi Goldberg's one woman show. Absolutely, it
We
was an
invested
investment.
in ourselves. Yep.
No, we invested in you.
Yeah, me.
We were investing in you, right?
It's true.
So it was like, we're going to roll up to her after the
Mm-hmm.
show and we're just going to give her the script
Mm-hmm.
and big things are going to happen. So that's what we did. Still have the mug from the show, by the way.
Me too. I still have the mug. I should have brought it down here for this episode because I still have it. And you know what's
Yeah.
crazy is that so many pieces had to come together for us to boombata her, right?
Right.
Because yeah, we went to the show, but we went to the show knowing that we might not see her after the show, right? I mean, she might not come out that door. She does. She might not talk to us or whatever. There were so many what ifs and buts and all these things, but it was worth taking the risk
We
to
found
try.
that older black lady who told us where to go to wait for her.
Oh, I don't remember her. I love it. Who was
Yes.
she? She's another character in this. What does
She's
she do?
another character. We asked her, we're like, excuse me, where would Whoopi? And she's like, oh, you got to go around. Da-da. So we went back there, and there weren't a whole bunch of people, but there were
Yeah.
other people there.
Mm-hmm.
And there we were, face
At
to
the
face
stage
with her
door.
at the stage door, and she comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and you say nothing.
Which
You
surprises me as the person I am now that I said nothing. That's
you
like,
said nothing. You froze.
that's wow.
And I was like, Whoopi, Whoopi, say something, say something. But I got her attention, and then
Yeah.
and I was like elbowing you, and then you finally spoke out, and you were like, I have this play, and I really just think that you would be perfect for it, this and the other.
Mm.
And then she looked at this guy. Remember that white guy
Yeah.
that she was
Mm-hmm.
with?
Mm-hmm.
And she looked at him, and she said, "Give her the card." And
Give her the
gave you
card.
the card.
Yeah.
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 That
And
was
she
like,
did. And then, yeah, and she did. And it was incredible. Like, and we were just like so excited after that. And so, like, all of the
and
things that had to happen in order to get to that moment of getting the card, it's just incredible when you think about it. And we had our little, what is it like they say in storytelling that now you don't want to do, but like having the magical Negro in your story?
no, I don't think that's what this is.
No, I'm talking about that black lady who randomly came out of
No,
nowhere
no, we're not
and was
talking about
like,
the magical Negro in the
and
story.
she was like, this is
No.
where you need to go. And then she like disappeared. She wasn't an usher. She wasn't there to see the show. She then came out of some, we don't know where she just, we never saw her again. And she whispered exactly where to go to see Whoopi Goldberg and then disappeared. To me, that's pretty magical, but
And she
we
sprinkled some
won't.
like collard green dust over our heads and off we went. You're insane. That was something because then later on, you ended up going to Whoopi's house, remember? Her house.
Of course, I remember that. I went to her. We talked about her involvement in the play and how she wanted to, help it out somehow. And so it was amazing. And so it's an example of really doing something because you believe in your person, because that's what happened is that, you believed in me and believed in the script so much that we spent an astronomical amount of money to see her one woman show. And not just that, but you went backstage. We had like when I froze, you stepped up to the plate and were able to be my voice. And like all of a sudden, it was incredible. It was
Yeah.
amazing. And then the play ended up touring and it was great. An amazing outcome.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it ended up being an incredible situation, very special. And even though Whoopi Goldberg didn't end up being a part of it, she inspired me and validated that there was something there. There was something worth
Yeah.
pursuing. So
Yep.
it was, and just to get to meet her and be in her presence. But it brings us to the topic of our episode, and it goes along just perfectly, right? With the boom boom bada and the um, what you do and how you support your friends and the people you love and how you show up for your person specifically in ways and are able to help them in their struggles and help them with their dreams. Like, what are ways in which you've shown up for your person in a relationship?
Well, I think it's like you need to be on board with the person's dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. So let's say you have someone that you're with and they're like, I'm going to be a chef and they can't make toast.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to be on board that dream, right?
Yeah.
But when you just like you keep trying toast and keep toasting, like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you
Buy
have
a lot of
someone,
bread for them.
lots of bread, you're buying rye, you're buying
Mhm.
all
A
kinds of
real
bread for
nice
them.
toaster. Set them up for success.
But it's great if you can actually believe in them and get behind them, right? I have dated people that were very talented, and there have
Mm-hmm.
been times when if there were ways that I could help without them knowing,
Right.
but I've passed other people's scripts on to people who I thought could help them
Mm-hmm.
when they were ready because I want them to
Mm-hmm.
succeed too. And so whatever way I could help, I would. Or like I was with someone and I felt like they were just working all the time and they weren't having a chance to be creative. So I was like, I'm going to give you a writer's retreat. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just like put all of these like inspirational quotes around their
Mm-hmm.
house, had their breakfast, had their lunch, had their dinner, brought them tea and all of those things just to get them so they didn't have to think about anything else and they could
Mm-hmm.
just focus on their writing for a little while. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just like those kind of like little things that you can do that show the support and that show that like you're with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
So
the
what are
best.
some of those things? Because I'm sure you
Yeah,
are
I mean,
like,
I think one of the best things you can do for your partner is when they kind of almost like have forgotten who they are. You remind
mm,
them of how wonderful they are, right? Like you
mhm,
remind them that they can do anything they put their mind to. You remind them how beautiful and how special and wonderful they are. I think being with artists, my fiance is an artist, and so
mhm.
I help her a lot with self tapes.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't wish self tapes on my worst enemy. I really don't. Like those are crazy. Like auditions now are all on tape. You have to
Yeah.
like emote and make people feel things, and I don't understand how she does it, but I help read the other part, as best
Right.
as I can, and help her with that. And There's a lot of times where she might get frustrated or, you know, doubt her abilities. And
Mhm.
I feel like I'm there to remind her that she's doing great, she's killing it,
Mhm.
and that how talented she is. And
Mhm.
to help remind her of her greatness when she forgets how wonderful she is, or, it's like you're there to help remind her of her greatness, because sometimes we have to
Mhm.
be reminded. It's like a gentle shake, like,
Yeah.
wake up,
Yeah.
and I think that's in this particular relationship, that's how I show up for my person a
Nice.
lot, is, yeah, being there in those ways.
I do think it's hard in particular when people are artists. And I also think right now, looking at the climate that we're in,
Hmm.
it has taken some time and it is taking some time for the industry to pick back up. So I think,
Hmm.
I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it again, but
Yeah.
holding space for your person
Hmm.
while all of that is still going on and continuing to like hold space for their dream, hold space for,
Hmm.
who they see themselves as and be like, just that I agree with you. That
Hmm.
reminder is huge.
And to remind them that that's not all they are. Being an artist isn't, in whatever way, shape, or form, an actor, a writer, whatever it is. Yes, you do that, but that's not the
Mhm.
only thing that makes you who you are. That's not the only thing that makes you special or a good person. You're also an incredible mom.
Right.
You're also inspire people because you're a kind person, and you're
Mhm.
spiritual, and you try to really live by the principles that you read about, which is hard. We read about that stuff, but to actually enact it in our daily lives is a hard thing. And like, you do that, and you're of service to people, and you like you literally like help the neighbors across the street. And there's other things about you outside of what you do, right, that make you who you are. So you
Mhm.
don't just get like you don't just get tunnel vision with like, I am a writer, this is my identity, this is what makes me special. No, there's a lot of other things that you bring to the table
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
it's important to remind your person of those things too. Like, you're more than just that one thing.
Yeah. That's huge too. I think you're right because I think sometimes, particularly in this industry where so much, and I guess also depending on where you are, like I feel like in LA, a lot of it is like dependent on your work, is your
Mm-hmm.
worth,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and that's not actually the case. So it is good to have people around you who remind you like who you are in the
Mm-hmm.
larger scheme of things.
Yeah.
I like that. It's also nice because I don't think that like showing up for people just has to be with like the people in your who you're in a relationship with.
I know.
Absolutely. Like I still try to show up for my friends. I try to be
Mm-hmm.
the person that remembers the birthdays and remembers like special things or calls to check in after they had something important that they were going to do. How'd that thing go? Like, did you get that thing done? And just
Mm-hmm.
like, but I also think that sometimes it becomes difficult when we're so focused on ourselves and
Yeah.
all the crap that's going on, or we're focused on the world and all of the
Mm.
stuff
All the
that's
stuff. Yeah.
kind of right. Because when you're downtrodden,
Yep.
it feels very hard to be looking out for someone
Positive.
else because or you're in survival mode,
Yeah.
right? When you're in survival mode, it's like, I don't
Hmm.
know,
Put
like,
your mask on before helping anyone
right.
else. Well, I mean, they say, I don't really know who they was. Was it Oprah? I don't know. Somebody real smart said, like, one of the most powerful antidotes to getting yourself out of a depression or out of the bubble of thinking of yourself and your issues and your problems is serving others.
Mm-hmm.
Just even if it's a small thing, like if you're having a bad day and you didn't get the part, you didn't get the this, you're feeling down, you're thinking about whatever's going on within your world. A
Mm-hmm.
good way to get out of that is just thinking, okay, how can I stop for a second and help somebody else? Go across the street and bring the neighbor's trash cans up from the driveway to their
Mm-hmm.
house for them. Make a phone call and connect with a friend you have not talked to in a really long time, just to check in.
Mm-hmm.
Something in the moment that you can do that's small, even small, that just gets you out of your own head and serve someone else. Because once you do that thing, it automatically makes you feel better.
Service is a really key element to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like, it doesn't even have to be I mean, there's these street cats that hang out outside our house
Are
in the
they a
back, and
gang or what do you mean like street
street
cat?
cats, like a gang, like a little gang, maybe rolling up of cats.
Uh-huh.
And so I bought treats for them I was going to say on Amazon, but I shouldn't be shopping on Amazon. I know I'm working on it, people. I know
It's so
I'm
hard,
looking
but
for alternatives. Glow, put some alternatives in the chat because I'm still having a really hard time not shopping on Amazon. It's
well, cat
convenient.
treats
It's
you can get
quick.
at the grocery store, but I mean, like,
I know, but it's just it arrives like I know it's lazy shopping and I need help. So put
okay,
I'm
anyway,
open
go
to
ahead.
I'm
Your
open to
treats.
that. But anyway, I got them some cat treats, and it just makes me feel good to like, make sure the street cats are okay and they're getting fed and they're feeling good about themselves. So
Yeah,
it's like it's a being of service to these cats that don't get food or love or loved on or whatever. And it's a
yeah,
small thing, but
but
it
it's
lifts my spirits when I
yeah,
like am able to go give them some treats out in the back.
yeah. That's so you. All
So
right, so
lesbian, right?
it's real.
That's
That's
real
peak.
lesbian.
That's
How do I
real
lift my
lesbian
spirits? Help a
behavior.
cat.
Street cats. Okay.
Damn, that's
All
on the
right.
nose.
So our the last thing I wanted to do would be I wanted to do like a little this is a little quiz of like what you
Ooh.
would and would not do for love. Okay.
Oh, I
So
love this. Okay.
these are some fun surprise questions. All right. So would you do this for love? Would you jump out of a plane?
I don't even like being in a plane. Like, so I ain't gonna jump out of one. So I might not even fly someplace for love. So no.
That's a no. I would
That's
probably do that with the person. I would if they wanted to do that together. I think I would do that.
I see that on The Bachelor sometimes or The Bachelorette, whatever. Yes, I just admitted that's a guilty pleasure. Admitting Amazon, Bachelor, this is bad. But I see that's often a date choice, like that they go up in a plane together. They don't even know each other like that, and they jump out of the plane together and go skydiving. I'm like, in whose world is this like fun?
I think because it's like flying. I like the sense of flying, not in a plane. I'm with you on that,
Yeah.
but I like air. You know, I'm an air, so I love the idea of just jumping into air. Okay, next question.
Oh my god.
Would you give up front row Beyonce Cowboy Carter tickets if your person needed you to come to a work event?
What's the event?
A work event.
A
You've
work
taken
event.
too long. You've taken too long.
Front row Cowboy Carter
Front row, yes.
to
It doesn't
come
have to
to a
be front
work
row. Row three. Row three.
to go to a work event.
To
Yes,
go to
if
their
my
work event.
person needed me to go to a work event and really needed me there, I will go. Yes. You?
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too. Yeah. If your person had an allergy, would you give up your pet?
I mean, there's medicine for that, right?
Right.
Can I just pay for their medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Moving on.
Agreed. How far out into the ocean would you swim for your person?
I know your answer. I love to swim and I love the ocean. Yeah, I would swim as far out before the waves got real bad and choppy. I would make an effort. If my person I needed to swim to get to them for any reason, I would make the best effort to get to them. I would
Uh,
swim my hardest. I would swim my fastest. I can swim, so I think yes, I would say I'd swim out pretty far for that person.
okay. Well, I'm not even going to the ocean.
I
I don't
know.
like sand. I don't, there's too much of it. Can't
Have you
stand
ever
it.
swam?
I've been in the ocean. I floated in the ocean, particularly in Aruba. It's very salty and very buoyant, so I can float in there.
Like how deep? How far out did you go? Just curious.
Well, not too far out, but it's not just the water, it's the sand. It's just like I can't.
Oh,
There's so much sand, an infinite amount of it. I can't handle it.
you don't like sand? I think that's
Too much
I
sand.
feel like every episode we're going to get to know something new about the other person. And I did not know you had a sand, like a thing
Sand
about
aversion
sand,
for sure.
sand aversion.
For sure. I
Oh,
did find some sand I liked in Costa Rica on Playa de Negra.
hmm.
That sand I liked, but it was very
Oh, I was
fine.
going to ask what made the difference. Like
It was
what about
fine
it?
and black.
Did it not? It was fine and black. That's
Okay.
why you liked it. Oh my
All
god,
right.
it was fine and
All
black.
right. Okay. Let's be
Wow,
done. I think we're done.
prejudice about sand. That's a damn shame. Wait, I have a question for you. Would you stop talking to an ex altogether for your new person?
Probably not. No. I have some exes that I don't talk to, but the ones that I do talk to, like
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
your family.
Yeah.
So like, no, I wouldn't.
That's like asking you not to talk to your sister, your brother,
Yeah,
or whatever,
exactly.
because your
Yeah.
family. Yeah,
Would
that's
you?
great. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because my fiance and I are completely opposite when it comes to our sleep regimens, like what we need to fall asleep. She sleeps hot, is it? And so she
Mhm.
sleeps with like 15 fans on and the window
Yes.
open in February. I also stay up later than she does because I like to read. I like to sit in bed and read, or I like to watch TV. And
Mhm.
she goes to bed earlier. So she's committed to wearing headphones to sleep, which she didn't do before. Because when I'm reading anything, she says she can hear my movements or whatever, even though I try to be really quiet. And I've committed to letting her sleep in a wind tunnel vortex with like these 15 fans and just adding blankets, right? So we've agreed to do that for each other. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to wear headphones, which is not, or earplugs, which is not something I would normally do, and I'm going to sleep with 20 blankets on so that you can have your wind tunnel fan experience, right? Would
Right.
you do that? Like if your
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine because sleep is paramount. Like
Mhm.
sleep has to happen.
Yeah.
And I also am hot. So I need fans. I need to be cold. I like 68 degrees. That's what they say is like a very good temperature to sleep. And it's also better for your body. So I
Mhm.
use that science to justify my need to have
Oh
a
my gosh,
temperature.
she has a literal thermometer in our bedroom and she does the same
I do
thing.
too. I have a thermometer in my bedroom
Oh
too.
my god,
And the dogs make it very hot in there.
I cannot.
But anyway, so I could compromise with wearing earplugs if I can keep my 68 degrees.
Quiet as is kept, one time I moved that thermometer over closer to the window. And so, like, the temperature would hopefully go down if it was closer to the window
Vic, I
instead of
hope you're
under.
listening.
Huh?
Don't Vic, Vic, you keep an eye on that thermometer, please, because she's trying to
I tried to
bamboozle
cheat
you
a little
on the
bit.
temperature.
I
Uh-huh.
tried to cheat a little bit. But yeah, same thing. And
Yeah.
then, okay, my final one. This is a good one. Ready for this one? Would you
Okay.
come to your person's defense even if you thought they were in the wrong?
Uh, Publicly, I would defend them.
Okay.
Privately, I
Yeah.
would be like, "What happened?" Publicly, public, yes, I'd be like, "Oh
Hmm.
no, she absolutely, she did not.
So
She did not.
you ride or die in the moment. But
I
then
was
when you
with
get
her.
home,
She did not." I'd
it's
be
a
like,
whole different
"What
thing.
did you do?" Yeah.
Okay. That's
What about
fair.
you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you can't I think it's important to be a united front with your person as much as
that's right. Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
And then have a discussion when you get home. Maybe next time, maybe thinking about this or that differently. But
yeah.
I think it's yeah,
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
not
it's
gonna be
important.
janky out in public with you, but we will
Mm-mm.
talk about it later.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, we're on the same page with that one. So that was a fun little game, quiz game. It's a fun game to play with your person if you like. What would you do? I love that game. So yeah, so we're coming to the a close of our episode, and yeah, I think this was good to talk about kind of like what we kind of stepping out of our bubbles, and sometimes we get in our own worlds and we're really focused inward. And I think sometimes the best remedy for feeling down or sad or depressed or kind of caught up in our own shit is to think about how we can do something for somebody we love, how we can take one small step towards service.
Yep.
And I think if we do that, whether if it's with our person or a friend we haven't talked to, or even a neighbor, or even a street cat, it'll lift our spirits, even if just for a little bit, even if just slightly. I think it's helpful.
All right, we're gonna call this the street cat movement.
Yes, the
Street
street
cat
cat
movement.
movement.
Do a little something.
Nice.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Do something kind for your person today, or
Yes,
for a stranger, or for some
exactly.
street
It'll
cat.
it'll it'll lift your spirits, guaranteed.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you
Bye.
later. Signing off.